Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I changed locations a little bit. I think as you can see, my background is a little bit different. I usually film in my room, but right now there's not enough light coming in, so I had to move the party to the living room. I'm right behind my couch right now, and there's a sliding door that's right in front of me. I use natural light to film, so there's a sliding door right in front of me, so that's what I'm using for my lighting. Yeah, so I hope that this is not too different and it doesn't throw you guys off. Now, before I continue with this video, it's my birthday on Wednesday, and I would really like it if I reached 100 subscribers for my birthday. It would really make my day. So if you're watching this video and you have not subscribed yet, please do hit the subscribe button. It will really make my day to be at 100 subscribers by Wednesday. So yeah, man, if you haven't, please do. On today's video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about something that I posted about a couple weeks ago, and I saw a lot of interest from you guys, so I was like, you know what, that's what I'm going to do for you guys. I am going to be talking about how much it really cost me to have my baby. Now, babies are adorable, they are amazing, and we love them, and they bring joy to our worlds. But these little human beings, guys, are so expensive. They are not cheap. Like, I knew going in that it was going to be like, not cheap to have a baby or anything like that, but I didn't anticipate that it would cost us so much. This video is just to give you just a general idea of how much it really costs to have a baby in BW. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about my experience, so if it costs you more or less than my experience, do not crucify me. I'm just talking about what happened to me. And also, I did use private healthcare, so it's going to be different if maybe you used public healthcare or government healthcare. Obviously, there are different conditions that are going to make your expenses either higher or lower or whatever, just make them vary. Whether you have a C-section, C-sections are usually a lot more expensive than natural births. And whether you have complications, whether you are a high-risk pregnancy, whether you have complications in terms of if your baby needs to stay in a NICU after giving birth and all that stuff, obviously that is going to make your expenses a bit higher. So with my experience, I had a natural vaginal birth, and I was what was considered a low risk pregnancy, and I stayed at the hospital for 2 days and 1 night. So that is what basically the costs are going to be talking about. I'll be focusing on the prenatal care and childbirth. Now, prenatal care, I'm talking about the doctor visits, I'm talking about the scans, the blood work, and all that stuff. And then childbirth, I'll be talking about the doctor fees, our stay at the hospital, how much that cost us, as well as the pediatrician. So if you have a healthy pregnancy or what is considered a low risk pregnancy, you are expected to have a doctor visit every month up until you're 30 weeks pregnant. And when you get to 30 weeks pregnant, you're expected to go every 2 weeks. And after you get to 36 weeks pregnant, you're expected to go every week up until the day that you deliver. Now, for every doctor visit that I had to pay 340, which was my consultation fee. This is before any blood work. This is before any scan or anything like that. Now, for a normal pregnancy, the one that I had, you are expected to have 3 scans. You have 1 scan at about 12 weeks. Now, at 12 weeks, they check your estimated due date. They basically just to check if in fact you are pregnant and if there is something in there. And like that happens at 12 weeks, and the next scan happens at about 20 weeks. The 20-week scan is basically to check if your baby is growing properly, if he has all the limbs in terms of your arms, in terms of their arms and their legs. And also it looks at the positioning of the placenta. And the last scan that you have is at 36 weeks pregnant. And that one is where they check the position of the baby, the weight of the baby, and whether the any placental abnormalities and all that fun stuff. Now you have the option of getting as many scans as you want, but you need to know that with every scan it's an extra cost. For us, we're very lucky with our doctor visit that every single doctor visit that we went to, there was a scan. There was no printout, but there was a scan. We could see the baby, we could see the baby move, we could hear the heartbeat and all that stuff. So we're very lucky, but we only paid for 3 scans. So yeah. So also for pregnancy, there are blood tests that you have to do. There are blood tests that you do during early pregnancy where they check your blood type, they check whether you have any infections such as HIV, syphilis. They also check your blood count and all that fun stuff. It costs us about $700 to do that. The other blood work that you get is in late pregnancy. Basically, that one is also just to check your blood count. I think they check a couple of other things. I don't really remember. That one wasn't too pricey because they didn't check for all the other infections. So it was about $237 or something like that. So altogether, in terms of a doctor visit during my pregnancy, including scans and blood work, everything cost me about 6,671 pula. This is before Ru was born or anything. Yeah, that somebody was coming. Now, when it comes to birth expenses, we had the expense of the pediatrician, we had the expense of the hospital fee, and we also had the expense of the OBGYN fee. Now, the OBGYN charged us 7.5. That was his fee to deliver naturally. There is an extra fee, like if you get things like pain relief stuff like an epidural or anything like that. I didn't get any of those, so I didn't have that extra charge. And then there was 10,000 pula for the hospital stay. 10,000 pula for the hospital stay. So the 10,000 pula covered the meals that I had, our hospital stay, and all that fun stuff. They only covered my meals and my care. They didn't cover Junita's meals or anything like that. So he had to go out and actually get food for himself. So that is what the 10,000 pula covered, and all the other baby stuff that the hospital provides for us. That is what the 10,000 pula covered. And then lastly, the pediatrician fee was about 750 pula. Basically, that was just to check the baby, make sure he's okay, make sure when he leaves, everything is fine. There's no infections, there's nothing that is a red flag or anything like that. And that was like a 750. And luckily for us, he had no complications. Everything looked good. Obviously, if there are complications or there's something that is wrong or your baby has to stay in the hospital a little longer, there is an extra charge for that and all that fun stuff. So do consider that. So altogether, the birth expenses with the hospital fee, the pediatrician fee, as well as the my OBGYN fee, everything cost about 18,250. And altogether, with the doctor visit during my pregnancy, plus the birth expenses, everything went all the way up to 24,921 pula. Yes. So this is just minus all the other things that I talked about, your maternity clothes, your birth classes, your preparing for the baby as in buying baby stuff and all that fun stuff. So this is excluding all of those. And when I was doing the math and trying to put everything together, I think before Ru came, we spent about 50,000 pula just preparing for him. This is adding all the hospital fees, adding all the things that we bought for him, adding maternity clothes, adding prenatal vitamins, adding birth classes, adding all these miscellaneous things that came with the fact that I was pregnant and I was about to have a baby. We were really, really lucky because we actually were planning to have a baby. So we kind of foresaw, and we had somewhat prepared for all these extra expenses and all that good stuff. And it does not end there, guys. When the baby is born, there's all these other extra expenses. in terms of childcare, in terms of medical care, and all that stuff. So all in all, babies are just not cheap. But yeah, there are ways that you can navigate this and you can go around it, that it can be cheaper for you guys if maybe you had a surprise pregnancy that you weren't expecting and you're just not financially ready for it, but you know that you want the baby. There are other ways that you can go about it that can be a lot cheaper, like also obviously having the baby in the government hospitals. I think that is close to, you pay close to nothing for all that. So yeah, that is also another option. Personally, for us, there were a lot of other things that we wanted out of this experience that needed for us to pay for private healthcare. So that's why we opted to go that route. It's not a route that everybody needs to take, obviously, but definitely if you can, it is sort of the best route. If you have the budget for it, it is just a little bit better, and it eases a lot of those pregnancy anxieties and all that stuff to just go for the private healthcare way. I did not have medical aid also, so I think that also added to the huge expenses. So a big chunk of this number that I mentioned to you guys is taken away if you do have medical aid. So definitely get medical aid if you're planning to have a baby. I hope this video was very helpful and gave you a general idea on what to expect financially if you're going to have a baby. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys subscribe. If you haven't, remember, we're trying to get your girl to 100 subscribers by her birthday. I hope you guys make that dream come true for me, because it would really make my day on that day, because I can't really do much because we are quarantining and we have to stay home. So that would really be a great birthday present from you guys. Thank you so much for watching once again, and see you in the next video. Bye.